Hello and Guardians, today I'm going to be showing you how you can speedrun the Sunless Cell strike. Now in its entirety, this strike is actually relatively simple. You can run past the majority of the phases, but there are a few phases that you're going to have to stop and actually kill enemies and do a few objectives. So for those areas, I'm going to show you what you can do best efficiently so you can get it done really fast. Now when it comes to your weapons, your primary and your secondary don't matter too much as long as you can kill stuff, but your heavy is going to want to be a sword, because, you know, for most strikes a sword is the best choice now. But for this one especially, it is going to be your absolute savior, and preferably you want all three players to have swords. If you're playing with randoms, I understand that's not going to be quite as possible, but this is a speedrun guide, so with two friends, get everyone to have swords, and it is just going to fly through, you know. So for this first area, you don't have to kill them, you just keep running, and sometimes on this left alleyway where I'm about to run up, a heavy ammo crate will spawn. I believe this is only for heroic strikes, but if you're running anything lower than heroic strikes, you're probably wasting your time because they're the best source of loot. So once you get to the end of here, there's going to be a door. You don't have to kill anything, just wait for that door to open, and once you're through there, you just run through a corridor till the next area. So I'm going to skip to that next area now, and I'll see you there. Okay, so once you reach this next room, there are going to be two steps you have to take. First, you must go to either side of the map to activate the totems, and then return to the middle, and you're going to have to kill all of the enemies. By doing this, the door will open and you can move to the next zone. So you basically want to organize your team. Send one person to the left, send one person to the right, and then the third person can stay in the middle and kill the enemies. I was actually playing with one random, so this one random just sort of stayed back and didn't actually join us in the strike. He was AFK for the majority of it. But once you jump over to the totem, use your sword against the two wizards. Do a jump attack where you go R1, R2, and that's going to do bonus damage and should, in theory, just kill them right there. So once you've activated the totem, the Shrieker is going to open up, which you can take down fairly quickly, you know, but then its orbs are going to come after you. I don't really have any solid advice for how to survive these, so I use invisibility grenades. I don't know, you can probably just run in circles and you'd be able to avoid them, but once that reaches 100%, you can run straight back to the middle, and once you're there, pull out the sword again and just start slashing away the enemies. I think the random has just arrived now after being absolutely no help. I suppose we were just running past enemies and he probably got a bit confused and left behind. But as you can see, all the enemies just get destroyed. For knights and wizards, you want to do the double slash attack and that should take them down. And the acolytes, they only really need one slash. And you should still have heavy ammo by the time you finish doing this. I don't know, it depends how efficient you are with it. And there are just two acolytes left now, and you know that one wizard's about to drop dead. So once they're dead, door's going to open and we're going to move on to the next phase. Alright, so now the door's open, we're going to have some enemies spawning directly in front of us. Just take them down, and then some enemies are going to spawn at the back and in the middle. The enemies in the middle are going to be a bunch of scions, and to take them down, I would definitely recommend you use Shadow Shot, because that's going to prevent them from multiplying and you'll be able to take them down very quickly, because you're not going to have to deal with any extra scions that shouldn't be there. From the back, there's going to be some acolytes that come. I'll shadow shot those as well, just because it's going to make some orbs for the other person who's also using Night Stalker. You want to feed off each other's supers, give each other orbs. It's the best way to play the game, because then more supers means more DPS, means you're going to do it quicker. You can see in the feed right there, I just made a shit ton of orbs, and then Devizan has also just made a shit ton of orbs. We're going to then get pretty much our full supers from picking up those orbs, and it's just going to be great. So a few more scions are going to spawn. Once they're dead, enemies are going to spawn at the two sides, and then once they're dead, an enemy is going to spawn right in front of the door. He's going to be a major, and he'll be the one who actually triggers the door. I'm just going to take down the phalanxes now, because I missed that out, apparently. There's always one more step, but once they're dead, they can be taken down with swords, because they generally hold their shield to the side. But if they decide they want to try and launch you, that's where you're going to have a little bit of an issue. So, yellow health bar enemies, obviously they make more orbs. I should have used my super a little bit earlier, but I used it there. Made 3, 3, 1, 1, you know. Very simple, lots of orbs, and then we're going to take down these phalanxes. And I was too busy dealing with these side enemies to actually see the major spawn, and Devizan killed it so quickly and so efficiently, the door just opened right up. And when that door opens, more enemies are going to spawn, but they're not required to be killed. If the door is open, just get out of there, because the door is the only thing holding you back from doing a speedrun. So you just absolutely leg it. You didn't actually have to destroy that black orb as well. I don't know why. I have a weird obsession with getting rid of them because they really annoy me, but they're not a requirement to be destroyed. You can just leave them alone. And I'm just collecting orbs here to try and prepare my super for the final phase, because it is crucial to have it. Not entirely crucial, but you know, you want to have as much DPS as you can. Once you're through that door, you just sprint until the next section, and I will see you there. Okay, so once you reach this room, you're going to be greeted by a whole lot of Shriekers. You don't actually have to destroy these, but it's going to be a little bit challenging to destroy them. When it comes to a speedrun, you want to use all of your abilities to your best advantage. As a Night Stalker, I use the invisibility grenades, and this allows me to run straight past them, and it's either going to be the left door or the right door that opens up. So make sure you double check before you sprint to one of them, because you don't want to end up at the left door to find it's closed. And once you're through there, you're just down a corridor, and there's going to be a whole lot of thralls, but you can run straight past them. I am going to actually kill them to try and get some ammo, because it's a requirement to have heavy at the end, and since this was a regular strike, not in the playlist, the heavy ammo crate doesn't actually spawn, so I had to try and find some way of getting it myself. So be careful here, be very careful, because they really affect the direction of your jump. If you try and jump past them and you bounce off a thrall, you're going off that corridor. You're dead. It's gone. So normally, a heavy ammo crate will either spawn on the right there, or a special will spawn on the left. Knowing my luck, it would always be a special every time, but it's fairly often that there's a heavy. There's 3 potential heavy spawns throughout the whole strike, so that's quite a lot of chance of you actually getting some. Now I've killed those, and we're wasting time here. As a speedrun, I would have jumped down already, but I desperately needed heavy, and there you go, I got 1 brick, and that's going to give me quite a lot more sword ammo, allowing me to destroy the boss quicker. If I decided to jump down straight away, then I would have been lacking in sword ammo, and that would have actually slowed down the strike a little bit more than killing those thralls did. You need to think through your objectives, think what would actually help you out the most. Now once you're down here, there's pretty much nothing you have to do for about 15 seconds because you just have to wait for the boss to spawn. It's like the calm before the storm. And then once he's in, do a little bit of damage to him first before doing anything else. No swords, because you want the enemies to spawn before you use your shadow shot. Now on your shadow shot, you're going to want bloodbound, because bloodbound is what creates it so the enemies all take damage together. So by using bloodbound on the boss, when you're slashing him with the sword, all the thralls are going to try and attack you. They're going to move in range of the boss, get tethered, and by slashing the boss, it's going to kill the thralls, and killing them is going to extend the duration of the shadow shot, which means you can kill the boss while still having that same tether you fired active. It's not going to run out because the thralls are just going to keep on dying. And there you go, boss is dead in under 20 seconds. He just gets completely destroyed. That is exactly why you need a sword. I did run out of ammo just at the end, but if you had a full sword, because the spawn may have appeared at the top, then you would have been able to kill him. Now if it was heroic, you wouldn't have been able to kill him, and it's a lot riskier, but if you have 3 people very efficient with their swipes, then he is still going to die, or at least take off 75% of their health. It's a little bit riskier, but it's definitely worth trying it, because I've done it before, and it definitely does work. You just need to be very careful. So that is it for the Sunless Cell strike. I hope this did help you when you want to be trying to rush through it. I'm going to do one of these for each of the strikes, each of the new ones at least. I don't think I need to do it for the old ones, because they're a little bit more complex, and sometimes you're not sure which areas are actually skippable, and this can take upwards of 15 minutes, but right here, you'll see the time. I believe it was 7 minutes 46. No rewards, of course. There you go, 7 minutes 46 Sunless Cell strike. If you think that's a good time, then please try and beat it. That was my first attempt actually, so I might go back and do a proper speedrun at some point. But for the guide, this is the end of that. The next speedrun I'm going to do is Shield Brothers, so look forward to that one, and I will see you in the next one. Destinova and out, Guardians.